Oh, ah. Hey, good morning. Sorry, hon. Oh, and good morning to you too, my huns. My huns. Let me see if I can do this. There. Now I can see comments, if any, a little bit bigger. Make sure I was doing this. I was doing some paperwork. So good morning. Good morning, all. Happy. First of all, I should have said bunny, bunny, bunny. Bunny, 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 rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Anybody? It's the first of the month, people. Anything you can do for good luck, that would be awesome. So good morning. Yeah, I was actually doing some of my kind of daily paperwork, and I mean this in a really good way, of planning my day, reflecting back in the rear view mirror, as I like to say. What did I do yesterday? Did I do some good stuff? Yeah. What do I want to do today? I'm going to make a list. Check it twice. Naughty and nice. So good morning. And also, just not today, but like the rest of the week. What is my week looking like? This is something I do. I'm just sharing this with you right now because I literally was in the process of it. This is something I do every morning, is look at my roadmap for the day. And for the roadmap, really, the roadmap for your day should lead to the destination of your life. So good morning, Mary and SB and Sia and DJ and Heidi. This is the romper room portion of the show. It's a quiet day in the neighborhood. I just paused to listen. People are playing pickleball, but it is a holiday weekend and it's kind of gray. The gray, slightly cooler weather makes me know that we're on the shoulder season. September, October, November, December. We're not like in the halcyon days of the summer. Those are over. My God, summer kind of in a way is over. I hope you had a good one. User 1963, good morning to you as well. I'm drinking hot tea as opposed to iced tea because the weather is changing. Every day's a little bit different. Here's something I was thinking about. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, everybody who's tuning in. Here's something I was realizing could really help you, me, something I do, declutter-wise, here at the beginning of the month. Now, especially where the beginning of the month is kind of at the end of, what do you want to call it, like the summer, and we've got the kind of the bookends of the summer. You've got kind of Memorial Day weekend and Labor Day weekend are a nice little package, and now we're on the other side of that. And I say that because we as humans always look for kind of a fresh start, a new opportunity, a reason, a timing where it's going to make sense, where it's going to feel good to make some changes that hopefully will get you what you want. And I was thinking, because I'm always thinking of how easier can I make it for you to get started with your decluttering. And here's something that I want to recommend. So good morning, everybody. Here's something really simple. Today is the first of the month. Couple of things to do that by the end of the month, if you just did these things, seriously, even if you didn't do it religiously like every single freaking day, that by September 30th, one of the rooms in your home would look different and better. Now I want to mention this. Sign up for my mailing list. Sign up for my mailing list at destinationdecluttered.com. Now the reason I say that is because, and I meant to bring it out with me. I thought I had it in my pile of papers, but I didn't. But imagine a PDF you can download that's a habit tracker. It's got some things I call it pavers and potholes, because sometimes you're going to hit a pothole. You're not going to do the thing you said you were going to do every day. So it's fun to have a streak, but it's even more powerful that when you hit a pothole that you just continue on your journey. If all you did today was this, you made sure you were on my mailing list, because when you're on my mailing list, then you know how to download the habit tracker. And I've changed it since the one I began in August, where it's now blank where the dates are. So you quickly throw in the dates. Like September, you just go 1, 2, 3, 1 to 30. Wicked easy. On the first thing, all you do on the first line, just put declutter and then insert room here. Whatever room you want to start with and play with. Declutter this room. And notice what I'm doing. I'm not saying to do it for 20 minutes or just keeping it general. That every day if you showed up in one room and you decluttered, by the end of the month, no matter how long you spent there, it would look different and better. Now, the other way too, though, you could mention this. This is the second part. is to take a photograph. Take 3 or 4 photographs of that room today. Don't even look at them. I mean, you could look at them to actually get indications of what you want to change in that room, because photos give us some distance, and having some distance between not seeing all of it so up close that you can't see it, you get some perspective on what you want to change. You start your habit tracker from me today. You say, declutter this one room. Maybe that's the only thing you even put on your habit tracker. You take some pictures, and then every day this month, you show up in that room and you do something decluttery. Then on the 30th of the month, you take pictures from those same points of view of the ones you took today. Your room will look different and feel different. Simple as that. So I use that as an encouragement to, and if you want to get on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com, you can see it's wicked easy. It's down at the bottom of the homepage. Okay, but just think about it. If all you did was this one thing, showed up a few minutes every day, no matter how many minutes you had, but you didn't say, oh, I don't have enough time today, but I'm going to push it down the road and I'm going to do it later. Now, I say that, and I'm not flicking boogers at you. I'm saying, I know you've said that to yourself. Oh, I don't have time. I'll do it later. We do it, but then do you do it later? All right? Now, this is awesome because I'm seeing a bunch of good mornings from people, and then Kate Kager. Oh my gosh, this is how my brain works, my musical brain. September morn, we danced until the night became a brand new day. That's my Neil Diamond. Some 2 people playing things in some romantic play. September morn. I am mourning this morning over my singing, anyhow. So good morning, Kate. Nice to see you. Mary is saying, I got my puppy yesterday. Congratulations on a puppy. Oh my God, is that going to throw your house into a tiz? So I tidied a lot, but I'm hoping to have a place for her stuff next. Yes. Maybe you could even train your puppy to grab their toys and put them in a little low basket. And every time they do that, they get a treat. Because I remember when we had a dog, we would be forever tripping over his toys, stepping on little bones, hurting our feet. But congratulations on like that. Now, I love this. Elizabeth says, I just did a deep clean purge yesterday, and again, the music, cue the Chuck Mangione, it feels so good. Awesome. I don't show up here trying to convince you to do something that's going to be painful and arduous, and you don't get any return on your investment of time and energy. No. Everybody who shows up that says they did some decluttering, I did it myself yesterday. I decluttered our family tree a bit. And did I get it done? No. Was I overwhelmed by the enormity of it? Yes. Did I chunk it down? Yes. Did I get some done? Yes. Do I feel good about whatever I got done? Hells to the yes. Now, I say this because decluttering can feel good. And it feels good when you look at stuff, and it feels good in your brain saying, now I know where stuff is. So decluttering makes you feel good. Okay? Yeah, Radical Gal is saying, we cleaned out our shed and now we can actually walk in there. Look, it feels good for your body walking through there. Like, I'm not bumping into stuff. It was tough, but so worth it. Yeah, sometimes things that are worth it are tough. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do them, because now look what you did. And this is the reason I love being a decluttering coach. I don't come in and do it for you. Doing it for yourself shows you, this gives you evidence of doing something tough to get what you want. You know? All right. So Inessa is saying, trying to get through old paperwork my mom has. It's a lot. Yeah, I've been doing that for quite a while with my mom. Got to get it shredded. Yeah. So notice when you say it's a lot, it can be overwhelming, but just do a little bit at a time. Every time you show up and do it, no matter how small, you're making progress, okay? Even notice how my hand does that, and I'm not being like David Byrne, like, how did I get here? It's like a little bit helps. You start here, you do a little bit, 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 towards your destination, which is maybe right here, and notice you're no longer where you started, you're closer to your destination, you know? So notice these things. Any amount of time each day, Dee Dee Hamill, yeah. Any amount of time except for 0. Even 5 minutes of decluttering in a room can make a difference. Now, what you may find is, the reason I say set the bar so comically low when you're starting to declutter is this bar, lowering the bar helps you get started. If it is raised too high, you can't drive forward. It's kind of like kind of like literally and metaphorically, like a roadblock. You know how there's like a little speed hump versus like a wall? Lower that wall so you can get started. If you say to yourself, if it doesn't seem activating to your nervous system, it feels okay and safe to say, I'm not going to spend all day. I'm just going to go in for like 5 minutes. And you set your timer for 5 minutes, right? And then when the 5 minutes is off, you have a choice. Sometimes what happens is you just get started. You're like, oh, this isn't so bad. I can keep on going. And if you want to get to your destination sooner, again, your destination decluttered is like a road trip. The more you show up to get there, the quicker you're going to get there. Now, I say this, but I'm also giving you plenty of time. If you have one room, notice what I'm saying, one room this month, you sign up to my email list, if only just to get the PDF they can download, the habit tracker. You take some pictures of one room, and then every day you just say, I'm going to show up for a small amount of time, and I'm going to do it. Notice, it's like a road trip. I'm here, let's say I'm in Pennsylvania, and I want to drive to Key West, Florida. Okay? I'm wicked excited to get to Key West, but it's a long time. I could spend 10 hours a day driving there until I got there. Yes, I'd get there sooner rather than later, but at what cost? I wouldn't have enjoyed the ride. I would have been exhausted. I would be cranky. That's why I'm saying take a month. Notice how different it feels when you say, I can show up for a little bit of time every day versus all or nothing. Versus, oh, this is going to be uncomfortable. Versus, oh, this is too hard, I'm giving up. Okay? Yeah, PK is saying, I'm so happy to share the tracker again. Yeah, the reason I am, I will be completely transparent with you guys. I used to use mine, I was going to say religiously, but I'm not a religious person. I used to use a habit tracker every month. And then you know what happened? Here's what happened. Our routine changed. In the past 6 to 8 months, we have traveled so freaking much that at a certain point, it became foolish of me to try to get my habits at home in gear, because we were leaving every week, every 3 days, and it was frustrating me that I wasn't doing it. I would do it when I get home, but then when we're out traveling, it was difficult. But what I realized was when I don't, and I share this with you from my own journey, when I don't have a place to keep me on track, tracking keeps me on track, I fall off track. I don't do the thing. This is one of the reasons that I, schedule my days. I can't even, this every single day of my week. Every single day of my life is that's tomorrow's a holiday, so it's a little bit different. But this is what a day looks like to me. It starts at 6 a.m., though I'm rarely out of bed then, and it ends at 9 a.m. and p.m. And I'm rarely doing things of productivity in these hours. But during my kind of, the bell curve of the day, I have stuff planned to help me move forward. So I just share this with you because it works for me. I want to help you. And even if you're not one of my one-on-one clients, I want to help you. And if you want to be one of my one-on-one clients, the best way to start that is to also be on the mailing list. So it's a win-win-win, All right. What do we got? All right. Karen, the Gen X fat loss clothes. Yay, Gen X. Yay, fat loss, especially with us menopausal ladies. Took a bag to the thrift store yesterday after sitting in the front room for 2 weeks, or weeks rather. Yeah, notice. It's all about noticing with me, people. I swear, if you kept track of how many times I say notice or probably observe, notice. Notice that you put the bags together and get curious as to why you didn't take them until now. Now, the story in your head is the story you tell yourself, and it's nothing. There's no judgment here. Trust me, this is so a not judgment zone. It's a curiosity zone. But getting curious, why did it take you so long to do it? Now, I'll be honest with you. We came home from traveling on Friday. We were exhausted. We had such a fun time, and then our flight got delayed, and then we didn't end up flying until early in the morning, and then I showed up, and I was doing consultations and coaching and all sorts of things, and we went to dinner with people. So is it any surprise that yesterday when I woke up, first of all, I slept in a little bit late. Then I walked downtown. I went to a strength training class. I met my husband. We went to the farmer's market. We did all these things. When I came home, I didn't feel like doing a lot of stuff. I didn't feel like emptying the dishwasher. So I didn't empty the dishwasher. I emptied it this morning because I was waiting for my tea. but notice what makes you not feel like doing it. That's a really good place to start, to figure out what is motivating you to declutter and what is demotivating you. All right? Now, I love this. 1138. Oh, I just missed it. I'm scrolling past here. There we go. I'm catching up. Mantra yesterday was chunk it down thanks to you. Hey, and you know what? I'm glad you were saying that. I did it to myself yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, I said, okay, if I don't feel like emptying the dishwasher, I'm not going to. The dishes are fine. They're clean. I'll get them. I said, what do I feel like doing? Part of me was like, well, I said I was going to do some of my family tree. Do I feel like doing it? Maybe. It seems overwhelming because there's a wicked lot of, oh my God, our tree. Try to find some Murphys in Ireland, people. Oh my goodness. But I digress. It seemed overwhelming. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to chunk down, and all I'm going to do is this little bit. The cousins of mine have kids that now have had kids. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the tree and kind of build my way up. And then I did a certain kind of branch of the tree. I said, oh, that felt good. Do I want to do more? Yeah, I'll do a little bit more. Oh, you know what? I have this piece of paper that I wrote these things down. What if I make sure just all the information that I wrote down here is transposed here? That was a nice little chunk. So I chunk these things down myself. And then at a certain point, I felt like I could push and do that branch of the tree. But I said, no, you know what? My brain, I'm kind of empty because I've been making decisions and I've been concentrating. I'm going to stop right now. I'm going to feel good about what I do. And then later on, today probably, before we go to a cookout, I will go and do a little bit more on the family tree. Because I have decluttered my house pretty much a lot. I don't feel like going down the basement, but I have a funeral to go to in 2 weeks. And I want to be able to go and share the info about our family tree with the family who is there. Because we're turning out to be the old people right now. It's crazy. But notice these things. All right, now, Inessa says, it's tough for me to getting through it all. Yeah, so you know how you get through all? Is by doing a little bit at a time. It's like a journey. You're walking from here to there. You don't go on the Boston Marathon. There's really long steps, you know, a bunch of steps. Now, Nana Maria is saying, September is my month. I'm starting today. And looky here. Here you are in FYP. Yeah, Nana Marie, I don't know if you heard me. I have a free habit tracker that I use, and I give away free to the people on my mailing list. If that will help you turn this September into something you really want to get some good stuff done, destinationdecluttered.com. You get info on how to download it there, and it's free. Yeah, there you go. Jennifer says, a snowball effect. A snowman starts with a single snowflake. Yeah, there's so many examples in the real world. A seed watered and planted will grow into a tree. You know, $1 is made out of 100 pennies. You know, a lifelong journey starts with a single step. I feel like that wasn't what was painted on the wall of my high school. What was that thing? Today's the first day of the rest of your life? Or no, something like that. It wasn't that inspiring at the time. All right. All right. Up north, Amy is saying, what is one session? What is a one-on-one session like? Honestly, Amy, it's kind of like right now. Is if there were nobody else in the room and it was just in the room. If nobody else was tuning on, I would talk to you and you would talk to me, and I'd say, what's bugging you declutter-wise? And you'd say, well, this. And I would say, because I have training and I have expertise and practice and a toolkit, I like to call it a toolkit, of things that I say, oh, okay, so do the stuff you know how to do, and we're going to congratulate you. I will say this to everybody. The stuff you know how to do it. Rock on. But what you're going to find is when you go to declutter, there are stops where you organically stop. When you stop, when there's a roadblock. Now I use the metaphor of a car and road trips and travel all the time. That's why I call my coaching here on TikTok and everywhere else on the socials and website destinationdecluttered.com. Destination. You will come onto a roadblock where you'll say, I feel like I can't move forward. I will stop at this point. We get curious about the stopping points. And usually it'll be like, okay, let's go back to the scene of the crime. When you were decluttering and you were there, was there something you looked at? Was there something you heard? When you looked at that thing, did you hear a story in your head? Were there some words in your head that caused you to feel a feeling that said, whoa, I'm going to take my foot off the gas and maybe put it on the brake? And then we hang out in that space and we say, oh, you know what, let's try this. Let's pull something out of the toolkit and say, well, the next time this happens, this is the toolkit I recommend all the time. I'll give it to you for free. It's pretty simple, but it's kind of like somebody can tell you something, but unless you have the excuse to practice it, you'll be like, oh, that sounds easy. I'll do that. Is catching yourself in an unhelpful thought. You know it's unhelpful because it makes you feel crappy and then you're not doing the thing you want. And backing it up and saying, okay, unhelpful thought, I'm going to start with you. I am going to flip you on the other hand. I'm going to flip you over and say, what's on the other side of an unhelpful thought? It's a helpful thought. The opposite of that unhelpful thought is a helpful thought. So whatever's keeping you stuck, there's information in that to get you started if you take the time, and it doesn't take that long, but to sit down and even sometimes literally write down all those unhelpful thoughts and practice translating them into more helpful thoughts. You know a helpful thought because it doesn't make you feel like crap. You actually feel kind of good, encouraged. And when you're thinking better and feeling better, you're going to do better. You're going to be more likely to do this stuff. And one of the things that I suggest is doing the stuff is writing down a list of things to do, but not just a list. Start with a list and then put it on your calendar. Make it happen on those days. And then you show up the next week. You say, this is the stuff I did. This is the stuff I didn't. We congratulate you on the stuff that you did. We say, rock on, because we don't shame. Why didn't you do the stuff? But we get curious. Oh, why didn't you do the thing you said you wanted to? Well, and then we just hear the stories. And I say stories, and I don't even mean that there's judgment in that. There are words in your head that make you feel a feeling. So let's talk about, let's listen to those words in your head. Okay? I hope that helps. All right, I love it. Elizabeth is working on your calendars today. I'm working on my calendars too, and I will share this with you in full disclosure. I am looking at my calendar now for the next week or so, literally until Friday, September 6th. I have TikTok Lives scheduled. However, excuse me, Saturday the 7th until literally probably Monday the 16th, I do not have any TikTok Lives scheduled. I will tell you why. I am traveling to help people with different areas of their lives. People I know. I don't do this. No offense. I don't do this for strangers. I only do it for people that I know and love. I'm going to help my mother with her clutter. I'm going to go hang out with a friend whose mom is not doing well. I'm going to go to a funeral. I'm going to go see my niece. I'm going to go hang out, check out my sister. I'm going to spend some time with me. I'm going to see some friends. When I am traveling like that, I am not in my normal environment, so I may do a TikTok Live or two from the road if I feel like it, but don't rely on that. What you can rely on, though, is that there are hundreds of recorded TikTok Lives on my YouTube channel, and you have access to them right now, Destination Decluttered on YouTube. So when I'm not around, you can do other things. You don't have to wait for me to keep on making forward progress and to hear somebody encouraging you and helping you problem solve and calming down your nervous system and chunking it down and feeling better. Okay? So notice this stuff. I just want to let you know, kind of like, I'm looking at my calendar and I'm sharing my calendar with you, that there's going to be a week that I probably will be kind of quasi off the digital grid here. I will still, because my paying clients always come first, so if I can coach with them when I'm away, and I have arranged that I can during this trip, that I will do that. All right? Yeah, Nixie says, one of the reasons I work on my family tree is because it helps me put everything in its place. Yeah. Notice the organizing. I was thinking about that, the categorizing. Here's the Murphy family. Here's the Lennon family. Here's the Dowds. Here's the Lynches. Here's the Shaughnessy's. Here's the Hessians. Here's the Smiths. Here's the, whatever it is. Notice that there are so many ways in which we organize information by category to help make sense of it. So I love that. I love it. Yay. 1138 said, and this is something I brought up yesterday because one of my clients actually said it helped her, and she said, share the thing about the nickels and dimes. 1138 says, and when I found items and got stuck on selling, I remember your quick nickel or a slow dime. Now, as I mentioned yesterday when I did my TikTok Live, I got this from a vintage clothing reseller that I know, and it's so true. Sure, you can hang on to things with the hopes of getting more money for it if you're deciding to sell it, but you also are still then hanging on to it. You still have to go through the selling process. I would much rather flip stuff and do a quick, short term and just get the stuff out of my house. So Elizabeth, notice that today when you're going to list stuff for sale today. How much are you asking? How much do you want? And your goal, here's the funny thing, your destination when you're decluttering, notice, it's built into how I call it. It isn't destination make money. No, It's destination, get rid of your shit. It's getting rid of the stuff you don't want. It's destination decluttered. It isn't destination decluttered. And to me, if you happen to be able to easily make money while you're getting rid of your stuff, all the more power to you. You know? Now, sentimental clutter. This is a really good one. Sia is saying, sentimental clutter that I don't even want or need is getting me. And notice this. Now, if I was at my desk, and I will be honest with you, the seasons are going to change. So I say to myself, the seasons in life, I'm just going to do a quick detour here because I think this is important. Much like the year, the seasons in your life change. The chapters in your life change. And one of my personal mantras is I want to do this thing for as long as I can until I have to do something else. So I thought about it this morning. It's not particularly cheery outside, but it's not freezing cold. It's not raining. So I want to do my TikTok lives outside for as long as I can until the weather makes me want to go inside. Now, I also know that today I'm going to spend some time at my desk working on my family tree. So I thought, why not get some fresh air while I'm doing something, knowing that I'm going to be spending some time indoors at my desk at some point. If I were at my desk, I would have this little piece of rope. So pretend I have a little piece of rope in between my hands, right? And it's pulled taut. So funny, taut. I feel like my Boston accent comes out when I say that. Notice that tension is between 2 points when they're pulling against each other. There's no tension when you're holding one side of it and it's slack. It's just easy. I don't want it. I let it go. There's no tension there. I do want it. I want to keep it. No tension there. It's when it's should I stay or should I go? So notice right there, sentimental clutter. Sia, you said, I don't even want or need it, but it's getting me because part of me, not all of me, why not? No, part of me is saying, I want to get rid of it. And part of me is saying, no, you can't get rid of it. Pay attention to that part. Just listen to it. Do not believe it. Now, I should have had it over here. Here is your backseat driver, and I'm left-handed, and this is how I roll. Your backseat driver is the fearful voice that's saying, no, you can't get rid of it. And I'm using the get rid of verb because it's just quicker. That's how my brain works. You can't get rid of that sentimental stuff because... Fill in the blank. What's your because? Why can't you do the thing? Notice that it's going to be fear-based because over here, the way I coach, you've got fear on one hand, love on the other. Why? What are the words that are in your head that are stopping you from letting go of the stuff that the other part of you is like, I don't even want her to need it, but something's keeping me holding on to it. Now, Erin, wicked nice, because Erin is a client of mine. She says about my one-on-one coaching, it's fantastic, 1 hour with Beth, all to yourself. Yeah, I remember, Erin, you saying, I want this girl all to myself. And I said, sure, you got it. Focused on your goals and a plan. Yeah, nobody else. And this is the thing. I'm here for you. Even right now when I'm doing this TikTok live, I am your coach. I'm not here for your mother. I'm not here for your father. I'm not here for your kids or your husband or your mate or whoever. I am here for you. And if you're feeling a struggle, I want to help you with your struggle. Okay? Oh, there we go. Very cool. I'm psyched. Oh, hey, Carla Jane, I just saw that. Things just popped up. All right. I love it. Strong Silver Soul Sister. Oops, I hit the wrong button. You all helped me so much yesterday. Yeah, everybody feels a little bit different every day. I'm reading Jen Sincero. I recommended You Are a Badass because it changed my life. And taking all of your advice about writing. Yeah. And Carla Jane says, one-on-one is completely tailored to you. Yeah. Your pace and working on your thoughts about the clutter. And this is so cool. Carla has been awesome about this because Carla and I are coaching together. And Carla is saying to Up North Amy, if you would like to message me, I'll be happy to tell you about my experience. So, I mean, that's just really cool that you're not trusting me to say, I'm not trying to sell you on anything. But when other people who I'm working with are saying, hey, I'm having such a good experience and I would love to share it with you, well, I just feel like the richest person in the world when I know that I'm doing something good like that. So very cool. Yes, and Carla, I was thinking about you with the nickel and dime thing. Yeah. Yep. So notice Elizabeth is saying, and I'm catching up on some of the things right here, okay? Elizabeth is saying regards to selling some of the things that she no longer wants. It's not really to make money, but to move it on to a new home. Now, I love that idea of moving things into a new home. So yeah, of course, selling is a way to move items to a new home. But the cool thing is, it's not the only way. It's not the only way. No, I'm getting the Oasis. No, it isn't. Blur, I think. Ride. I don't know. I'm getting a Britpop 90s flashback in my head, but I can't easily focus on it, so I'm going to quiet down. I'm trying to focus here. Sorry, musical brain. You know, moving things to new homes. Think about that when you've got this feeling of, instead of I'm just letting go of something and I'm feeling the lack of not having it, you are letting go of it so it can have a better home than yours. Here's a cool thing. Think about this. All the stuff in your home you don't want knows you don't want it. So wouldn't you rather have it go to a home that wants it? It's like having like a pet and being like, you know what? I'm allergic to cats. I can't have a cat. Or a plant that I'm like, I travel all the time. I can't, I'm killing this plant. This is not fair to the plant. It's not fair to the stuff you own to have it in a place where it's not loved. So get it closer to someplace where it's loved. And sometimes, honestly, the stuff is also going to go in the trash. I say this with things like, why are you keeping this? I don't know. Can it go in the trash? Yeah, it can go in the trash. You know? Ha! Now I love this. Strong Silver Soul Sister, being wicked smart and clever. I'm always about the clever. It makes much more sense if you know it makes no sense. Like sense like pennies and dimes. Love it. Okay. Now what do we got over here? Yep. Megan says if you're reselling in a yard sale, you're only supposed to get 30% of the original price if you're lucky. So notice this. If you are struggling, if you are holding on to things, because one of the phrases in your head is, I don't use it, but I paid a lot for it. You are very rarely ever going to get your money back or any money back. That's why it's important before you bring something into your life to say, what if it doesn't work out for me? What is my plan if this thing that I hope is going to make my life better doesn't make my life better? What's my plan to release it back out into the wild so it can go help somebody else? Now, my plan is to notice that before I even buy something, but we're all going to do it. We all have done this, where we have purchased items, brought items into our home, into our lives, with the hope of it making it feel good or better. Sometimes it works. Yay! You know, I'm looking around at my patio furniture. I'm like, yay! After 20 years, we've assembled a nice little collection of patio furniture that kind of ticks all the boxes, you know? But previous to this, we experimented with different patio furniture. It didn't work. One way I got rid of that was to put it on I get a free sign. I put it out on my stoop. Somebody takes it, you know? Yeah. Dr. Mimi03 says, I give mine to the thrift store, and that's a way to move it along to a new home. Yeah. German Maid is saying, selling lately hasn't been working for me, so I'm just going to list it free on my Facebook site. Yeah. Now, Annalisa says, I got rid of an outdoor table we have not been using. One thing really made a big difference. Yeah. Sometimes it's almost like, now I know they talk about this when you got to pee and you don't want to pee, breaking the seal. I know it can be used in other ways, okay? But that's the one that comes to my mind. Knowing when you have so much stuff, sometimes even just starting and pulling one thing off makes you realize that that big pile of clutter isn't just a giant solid mass. It is made out of different things. And so you can dismantle it one thing at a time. I mean, one of the categories I like to play with when I'm working with my clients is saying, okay, if you want some bang for your buck, kind of like an I Spy with my little eye type of thing, when you're looking around a room and you're deciding what to declutter, what is the largest physical item in that room that you don't want? What is the thing that's going to give you the most room for you in that room? Okay? All right. Now, I will mention this. So, Felice Brown, you may bring up a very good point. And I want to address this because I'm not just a decluttering coach. I'm a decluttering life coach. So, it probably hasn't come up just with the nature of some of these things. But Felice is saying, I moved and was unpacking and organizing, but a series of traumatic events happened and now I can't declutter. All right. I totally get it. Start with healing from your trauma. Don't try. You can get a certain amount of decluttering going, but you're going to stop at a certain point if you haven't looked inward. The more I coach, the more I know You got to start in here. And if you ignore what's going on in here, you're going to pay a price for it later. You're going to stop and not get started. So I feel for you that traumatic stuff happened, but also know that when you start to kind of heal your trauma, the decluttering will be easier. Okay, so please, everybody, take care of yourself. Not just yourself, but yourself first. Take care of your physical body. Get some sleep. Take some Excedrin. Hydrate. Move your muscles. Wash your face. Calm down your nervous system. Love yourself. Get the stuff out of you don't want. Write it down. Feel the feelings. Allow things to kind of flow through you. Allow life to flow through you. Get used to doing that. It will help you with your decluttering. You know? Yeah, and even Erin says, take care of yourself. See, we always have a cool group of people here. Every time I do a TikTok live, you're going to realize you're not alone and people care about you. Because we as humans, if we have hearts, which we do, we're not robots and we're not zombies. I'm here to show up fully with my heart. Not even on my sleeve. It's right here. It's all over the place. I want to help you because I don't want to see people struggling. So I do what I can with my life to help your life be less struggling. Yeah. Yeah, and Strong Silver Soul Sister is saying, I now think of stuff before buying. Will I still appreciate it because it will depreciate the same? You know? No, I love it. Elizabeth, you go have a great day. You got to get moving. As a heads up for people, it's 9:37. I'm doing the math. There looks like there's a 20 and a 3 in there, 23 minutes. And then it's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern time where I am. I don't know what time it is for you. But notice what I did too is, I'll share with you. The people on my mailing list get all the good stuff. They help me decide what to do. And so last week, the week before, I said, hey, I have some free time on my Labor Day weekend. Would you like it if I showed up and did a TikTok live? If you want me to show up for TikTok live, just get in touch with me. And my people on my mailing list know how to get in touch with me. And enough people showed up and said, yes, that would be helpful for me during that holiday weekend. So here I am. You know, I get it that you have other stuff to do. I do too. As soon as I sign off, I have things to do. Things I want to do, things I get to do, things I kind of, I'm going to feel better once I've done them. You know? So I mention that because ask for what you want. I have had such good experiences. I wish it had happened earlier in my life, but I'm so glad it's happening right now. Practicing asking for what I want. And not even asking in a whatever, but stating what I want. My husband and I had a wonderful experience on vacation in Detroit 3 days ago. And we didn't realize we stumbled onto a private tour of Third Man Records. We were just showing up and looking at stuff, and some guy was telling infos to these people. So I thought, he stands in front of the windows and he talks to people. And I was like, this is interesting. We're looking at them, making records or where they make the records. And then the guy was like, okay, now we're going to take you backstage. And I was like, oh shit, this is a private tour. And I said, hey, would you mind if we tagged along? And the guy's like, well, this is kind of a private tour. And I'm like, okay, no big deal. I did not know, but it can't hurt to ask. And then he said, well, how much time do you guys have? I'm like, we have hours until our thing, but we totally are not overstepping. And he said, oh, come on. And the people on the private tour were like, yeah, come on. We had a wonderful time. The only reason we had that is because we asked for what we wanted. So notice that in the kind of life coachy thing, but also let's bring it on back like a jazz riff. Let's bring it on back to decluttering. What do you want your home to look like decluttered? Write that to yourself. Make your shopping list. One room, let's chunk it down. One room of your house. What do you want it to look like that it currently doesn't look like now? Write it down. You have now given the marching orders to the universe and yourself to say, okay, we can make this happen. Okay? So, yeah. Strong Silver Soul Sister. Yeah, that's awesome. I think Jack White would not only approve but encourage that. Yeah. Such a cool freaking guy, is he not? Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, so awesome. Such good work. I couldn't stop. I could just rave. And I'm not even, I'll be honest with you, he is not exactly my exact cup of tea music-wise, but as a person and as an entrepreneur and all that good stuff, I could rave. Okay? Now, I love this. Carla Jane is saying, a switch flipped for me now. Notice, off, on, dark, light, discouraging, encouraging, the opposite. A switch flipped and the light went off. Now I feel the clutter holds my space and mind hostage. Yeah, you get stuck in a place you don't want to be just because of items you got at Target or you inherited from somebody who died. That stuff is keeping you stuck in a place, you know? That stuff is keeping you stuck, but the neat thing is when you realize it's just stuff. It's just stuff that was manufactured on a conveyor belt in China, and you've told yourself a story. You have words in your head about what it means. So let's go back to the scene of the crime, as I say in my loving Nancy Drew, Trixie Belden kind of way. Let's go back to the scene of the crime and say, what are those words then? What are those words in my head that are causing me to be stuck with this stuff that I don't even freaking want? Okay? So, I just love it. Because we can change what we don't like in the world. And if changing the world seems overwhelming, you practice by changing the world you live in, which is the four walls that surround you most of your life, which is your home. When you realize you can transform your home, room by room, category by category, drawer by drawer, into something you love, that not only looks good, but feels good and functions well, then you have a toolkit. You have a way of approaching the world that you can use in other areas. Notice what I just said. I use how I think and feel to ask for an upgrade to my hotel room. I've done that multiple times this year. You know what I realized is I have to stop going down to the low room and being meh, and then I upgrade. I need to start just booking the upgraded room. But you know why? You know what I'm noticing? Is there's a comfort zone to be like, oh, we'll be fine here. But when I get there, I'm like, no, I want this. So I need to kind of raise my frequency or just get more comfortable in my nervous system to say, if that's the experience I want, that's what money's for and that's what I'm going to do. Now, the comical thing is that my husband, being a musician, and we've been such road trippers and stuff for long years that even us staying at a hotel and not crashing on somebody's futon is a novel idea. So my idea of spending a lot of money could be somebody's pittance. Doesn't matter about somebody else. It's how it feels to me. You know? Now, this is really fun. Annalisa says, asked my husband if he wanted some souvenir spoons. He thought they were mine. We have no idea. Like, again, how did I get here? How did I get here to be the age I am? How did all this stuff get here? How about this? Wouldn't it be interesting if you had amnesia? Play this game today in your room, in your house. If you don't think that you have stories about your stuff that's keeping you hanging on to stuff, if you had amnesia, if you couldn't hear the stories that your stuff is telling you, what would you keep and what would you give away? If there were no strings attached, if there was no story attached to it. You know what this is like because you go to shops, you go to people's houses and you don't know the origin story of the things in their house. And you can easily be like, oh, I would never have that in my house. Oh, I totally want that in my house. Notice the stories behind your stuff. You know? Now, Carla Jane says, now, because the light switch went on from the dark to the light, now I think of the clutter in my space, in my mind, is something worth fighting for. Yeah. And you're fighting for it, but you're also having fun while doing this. Right? You're learning stuff. And the cool thing is, Carla, is everything you learn with me when we're coaching together, I insist for myself that it's not just a one-trick pony. That the way you are thinking and feeling and acting about your clutter is the same toolkit you're going to use when we talk about other areas of your life. Yeah. So notice these things. It's a copy and pastable thing, you know. Now, inspired to love. Here, I'm throwing you a life buoy. I'm throwing you a life jacket, okay? Because they're saying, inspired to love, I am 50 and drowning in my stuff. Yeah. It happens to us. It happens when we start to accumulate things in our teens, then our 20s, then our 30s, then our 40s. You get to be about 50 and you're like, whoa, okay, noted. I've been in acquisition mode. Now I need to be in de-acquisition mode because it doesn't feel good. It feels literally and metaphorically, well, not literally. My body feels like it's drowning, so that might as well be real. It feels like I can't breathe. I am drowning in stuff. Yeah. Yeah, and Strong Silver Soul Sister saying, this is not my beautiful clutter. Yeah, this is not my beautiful house. This is not the beautiful house that I wanted. How did I get here? You know, let the water pull me down. You know? Yeah. Yeah, see, Erin, notice, isn't it interesting? The amnesia game sounds powerful. I'd toss 50% of my stuff. Yeah, so would I actually. But you know what? I live in a house right now where my level of stuff is just right. If I declutter anything more in our living room or dining room, we don't have a dining room, we call it the tiki room, my house would feel empty. So I'm not here to tell you to empty your house. I don't want empty bookcases in my house. I have bookcases, they're full. Do I add more books to them now? No. Have I culled out some so the books look good? Yes. Do I keep the books I love? Yes. But if I moved to someplace else, if I moved to my next Barbie dream house, I would definitely not decorate with the amount of stuff that I have now. Because I also know the older I get, somebody else is going to have to deal with my crap when I die. And I want to minimize that on somebody else. Okay? Yeah. So, yep. And notice that, Strong Silver Soul Sister. Talk about time. Time. Getting my life back from trying to manage it all. No. Don't manage it all. All gets you nothing. All and nothing are like... All and nothing is like... I'm thinking of a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what my mind was picturing. If I can't do it all, if I try to do it all, I often get nothing. So no, do some. What are the things? Look ahead in your down the road to you. What are some milestones you want to do? I will share with you. Our trip, our 3-day, our whopping day and a half, 3-day trip to Detroit was something that I had wanted to do for 3 years because I didn't do it right the first time and I wanted a redo. And I didn't do it right the first time because I cheaped out on myself. And this is something I am working on, is spending the money in my life on things that matter to me. And I'm learning when I don't do that, I've noticed how it feels. And I notice when I do it, how it feels. And I like this better. So I will forego spending money on other items so I can spend it on cool hotel rooms. That's where I am now. You know? Yeah. So many of us women trying to get our lives back. People, yeah, let's do this. You all, like, I don't have kids. Never wanted them, happy to not have them, because I'm the oldest of an oldest of an oldest. I was changing diapers when I was 8 years old. I was babysitting. And I was like, screw this. I want my own life, thank you. So I got it. Yay me. But I say this, I get it. When you guys have awesomely focused your life on other people, children, spouses, bosses, parents', friends', whoever, strangers, focusing outwards. It's a noble thing until it starts to deplete and break down you. And when you realize, wait a minute, I have no time for myself. And then, this is the life coaching part, people. It's all about you, making a U-turn, saying, okay, enough about you. I love you all. Now it's my turn. It's my turn to be what I can be. I feel like that was on the same radio station, WRKO in Boston, with, or maybe WVBF. It was probably the same era of Neil Diamond singing September Morn. Yeah. You are worth reclaiming the time that you have on your ticking clock on this planet. Start it today. Start today. Urgency. Quick. Get people to be urgent and buy it. Throw in a set of steak knives. I just say, life is short. I have fewer years ahead of me, and so do you. You probably have fewer years ahead of you than you do behind you. I have women in my family. I have people in my family that have lived to be 100. But the quality of life between 70 to 80, 80 to 90, and 90 to 100 is far different from the quality of life we have now. So let's get to where we want to go so we can just live that before it starts to decline. You know? So I love it. Yay. Carly Jane, can't wait to us to gab this week. So excited to always speak with you. Yeah. There we go. Yep, separated and divorced. We've been coming for 8 years. We were both miserable. Yeah. But notice you made a decision and you're going down a different road. Okay? Love it, people. Good stuff. Yeah, Annalisa learned the habit of being cluttered from your parents. So did I. They learned it from their parents, and so on, and so on, and so on. Now, I say this because we are products of our environment. We are products of the country we live in. We live in a capitalist society who says, buy stuff, buy stuff, buy stuff, because that is how the money gets transferred around in our lives. Buy stuff and it'll make you happy. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. You know? And I love it. User 8274 says, after taking care of spouse and kids for 27 years, I'm finally starting to do positive things for me. Good. Awesome. I encourage you a bajillion% to do that. Yeah, there we go. Up North Amy, planning a trip to KC. This is my sign to just book the nice Airbnb I've looking at for weeks. Yes, because you know what? Feel like you are going to know the feeling if you don't. Do the thing. Spend the money on the thing that's going to be important to you. And especially if you're afraid to do it, but you're like, I don't know, just fucking do it. Life is short. I'm going away in about a month with my friends, and we're going to book. We have an Airbnb booked. Notice the one that you're looking at, and if you're longing for it and you think it's going to be the place, then try it. Experiment with it. You know? I love it. Carla Jean and Erin talking about peace. My life feels at peace. Huge difference. Yeah. This is why we declutter. You know? Yep. Those voices are the noises that crowd our minds. Yeah. I like to keep it simple. 2 voices in your head. Fear and love. And trust me, I'm no hippie. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. But I know myself when I am in fear and I am in lack and I am feeling like fear, just fear of whatever, I don't do my best. I don't show up. I wouldn't be here on TikTok if I was afraid you were going to judge me because I have no makeup on and I'm in my pajamas. I've learned to love myself and be like, regardless of how I look, I have something to offer. So I show up and I do this and I help people, you know? So notice that you can, even just again, I played earlier saying the I've got amnesia game, and you looked at your stuff. When you hear the voices in your head, when you hear the stories in your head, ask yourself, is this coming from a place of fear, or is this coming from a place of love? Is this coming from my co-pilot in the front while I'm driving my car who's encouraging me to keep on going to no matter what you do, like Beth from Destination Decluttered does every time I tune into TikTok and she's doing a live? Or is it a scared little kid in the back seat saying, no, 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 you can't, that's scary, 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 you're going to fail, stay safe and don't do the thing, you know? So know there's that. Now, I love it. Rachel says, all this reminds me of Kathy Bates and fried green tomatoes. Towanda. I love it. Now my 2 voices are mine and Beth's. There we go. You know what? It's going to be like, it's just with practice. Your voice, your co-pilot, Erin, is going to sound like Erin. It's not going to sound like me. But if it sounds like me for a while and you listen to it, I'm happy to do that. And because my co-pilot voice knows how to lovingly turn around and say, shut the fuck up, to the kids in the back seat. But the kids in the back seat, if you do not listen to them, you're going to make the same mistakes over and over again. I know this because when I was going through this a lot and I was writing down, I had my little like steno book, like, you know, a court reporter, and I was just writing down all the negative things I had to say. The same things came up over and over again. And when I noticed that, I noticed, wow, those are really the things that make me choose what I do and what I don't do. The fear of being laughed at, the fear of not being enough, as they say in the biz, you know? Now, I love this. I'm going to play the amnesia game with my paper clutter. That's my hidden clutter. Yeah, stored clutter. It's in a drawer, or it's in a door. It's behind a door, or it's in a drawer, or it's in a container. You can put stuff in a container, but if you haven't sorted it, you're just kind of masking the problem, you know? Yeah. Yeah, Carla Jane, I love hearing that what we're doing is working for you. This is why I offer one-on-one coaching. It was kind of funny because we went out to dinner the other night with some folks that we haven't really hung out with socially, and I chatted with, I say the wife, I chatted with the woman in the relationship. They were married, but you know, and she was like, oh, you know what you could do is you could do this thing where you create a thing, a product, and make a package and sell it. And I was like, yeah, I could, but I don't want to, because I know the power of Somebody's taking the time for yourself to say, somebody's there just for me. I'm going to practice showing up just for me. I'm not going to be here with a crowd of people. I know the difference it can mean when somebody is listening to you and can catch you on that one word that you used that you didn't even realize you said. And say, wow, is that really what's going on in my head? Oh my gosh. So I love one-on-one coaching. That's why I offer it. That's why I have a ton of clients. And that's why when I get back from my trip, I will open up my consultation calendar again if you want me to be your coach. But right now, because of life, because I'm also a life coach and I know life happens, you know? Notice this stuff. Yep. And yeah, it's not just voices. My nervous system causes negative physical responses. Yes, it can. But here, Erin, here's something really cute to think about. Yes, I have to go slower. I would not be surprised if, when you realize, and this is just my premise, seems to be what works for me, but it's kind of like, it's all a grand experiment. Maybe there are times when it doesn't work. What I would notice is, yeah, taking into account your body and how it feels, your nervous system, checking to see the origin of that feeling. Is it in your body and it's in a head? Is it out there? Or is it like, I'm tired, I've had a lot of caffeine, I'm cranky? Diagnosing what the feeling is, doing something about it, again, working on your physical body, taking some naps and things like that, but also saying, was this feeling right here triggered by some words in my head? It could be. Maybe not all the time, but that's why I always say, check yourself out. I have learned myself when I am not feeling good, and I show up and I'm pretty cheerful on these things, right? But when I'm off this camera, sometimes I'm cranky, sometimes I'm unmotivated, sometimes I'm like, I just want to scroll on TikTok on the couch, and so I do. I'm a human. But what I have learned to discover is that I say, wait a minute, where is this feeling of not wanting to do it coming from? Is it up here, or is it seriously? And I say, and I've often said to my husband, nothing is wrong. I'm just tired. I haven't slept well. I didn't eat healthily. I probably haven't had enough water. So I check here before I also then look outwards. But sometimes outwards can be like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's going to make me spend emotional energy to go hang out with people I don't want to hang out with. Or it's going to be loud, or it's going to be late. That doesn't feel good to me anymore. Whereas loud and late and being social used to be better. You know? Now, Cap says, parting with clothes that no longer fit that I've been saving for the future. Yeah, man. Dude, the future is now. The future is now. You can save them, but if you're not at this point, check in with yourself. There was somebody else earlier that was like a Gen X weight coach. I will share with you. I have done the things. My weight, my scale isn't budging, and I am sick of feeling bad about my body. So you know what I'm doing? I'm taking a different path. I am doing things to make myself feel good physically, but not so I look good, not so I lose weight. I want to, instead of losing weight, I want to gain strength. I want to gain flexibility, and I want to gain some love for this body that I've been given on this planet before I die. I am so sick of body shaming and diet culture that I grew up with literally since the 70s. And so I say, okay, if I don't fit in that clothing, that's okay. I'm going to find some clothing that I feel good on in this body. Now I'll share with you guys, and this is probably why I am going to do a podcast at some point, because I have these thoughts that I want to dig a little bit deeper in. But I just want to offer this up as an idea, is look at our lives from birth to death. We have childhood, and then we have puberty. And in that kind of shoulder of puberty is when our body changes and we don't know what's going to, and we try on, who am I now that I'm not that person anymore? I'm not a kid anymore. What clothing do I wear? What looks good on this body that suddenly has hair and boobs and curves? And then you kind of sort that out a little bit, and then you have your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, but then in your 50s, there's another shoulder. Menopause. Same thing happens. Your body changes, just like in puberty. Your body changes whether you want it to or not. And now we're at a time saying, okay, what do I want? Who do I want to be? I'm no longer that person. Now, who do I want to be? What clothing do I want to wear? Do I want to look like a butch person who goes and walks in the woods? Do I want to look like a 70s art teacher? Do I want to be a hottie? Do I want to be a Pilates woman? Do I want to walk around in a caftan? And you know what? I'm every woman. I can do it all. I want to be one of those people a little bit every day. Okay? But notice you're changing, and you can choose who you change into. And if you don't know who that is, experiment and play until it feels good. Okay? So Bobby Dugas is saying, "What? I'm late. I could cry." No worries. I will give you all a sneak peek. I am going to do a TikTok live tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is Labor Day Monday. Oh, wait. August 31st. Oh, you know, it's funny. I screwed up on my dates right here. Tomorrow is already September 2nd. 9 a.m. tomorrow. 9 a.m. Eastern. Okay, there you go. I'm going to do another TikTok live. But in the meantime, to recap, get on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. Download the free habit tracker. Print it out. Put on the very top thing, declutter, and insert one room there. Put the dates on it and do a little bit of decluttering between now and every day, between now and the end of the month. And notice when you show up for a little bit at a time, it will make a difference. If you're not seeing a difference, take pictures of that room today. It's September 1st. Put those pictures away or look at them for inspiration to say, what do I want to change in this? Change those things and then take pictures on the 30th. And notice the difference you have made. Okay? Now, I gotta go. I'm sure you do. Yeah, I'm every woman. It's all in me. And I am both Chaka Khan and Whitney Houston. Okay? All right, ladies. Therapy gal going to the pantry. Do it. You guys, you're all rocking. Congratulate yourself on what you're doing that's good. And the stuff that you're just not currently good at, I'm here to help you with it. Okay? I will see you tomorrow. And in the meantime, have a wonderful Sunday. Let's see if I can hit this button on the first try. Did I do it? Nope. Did I do it? There we go. All right, you guys. Keep on rocking the free world. All right?